What's going on, everybody? My name's Ragnar. I'm gonna be talking about the book Bad Blood and the company Theranos. This company Theranos was created by Elizabeth Holmes when she was only 19 years old at Stanford. And what she wanted to do was revolutionize the industry, the healthcare industry, by making it more affordable and more pain-free. So what she tried to do was find a way to take a small blood sample like this one and run over 200 different types of tests. Tests such as if a person has HIV, if a person has high blood pressure, if a person has syphilis, and tests like that. But this device that she created with the company Theranos was called the Edison, and it was only able to run a few tests, and those tests were highly irregular. They, if you went to another bigger company or to a doctor and they took your blood, these results would be very different. And because of this, Elizabeth was lying to investors when she told them that the device worked, and she later on sold the idea to Walgreens, which is a humongous company in the United States. And what she did was she built a faculty there where people could come in and get their blood done by taking a small sample of blood and it was put into a tube like this, which then was supposed to go into the Edison machine, and it was supposed to run over 200 different types of tests and tell the person in under half an hour what the results were. But these results were very different from if you would go to a real doctor and they would take your blood. So this ended up with people actually going and taking surgeries they didn't need, getting medication they didn't need, and this was actually putting their health at risk. And this was what Elizabeth was trying to avoid. She didn't want, this wasn't what she wanted in the beginning. She wanted to change the healthcare industry, but somehow it ended up with her deceiving investors, deceiving people, and becoming basically a villain, because she was putting people's health at risk, and she was lying to everybody in the world. She told everybody that the device worked. She had 800 people that worked for her that were all trying to make this device work, but because they all signed a non-disclosure agreement, when they said something wrong, Theranos actually tried to either make them change their mind or fire them. And if they would go to the press or say that Elizabeth was lying, that this device didn't work, that blood tests were getting broken, that blood was getting spilled everywhere, that the employees of the company were doing every test by hand, if they would say something to the public, the newspaper, journalists, anything, Theranos was going to sue. And this happened to two people at the company that didn't agree with what Theranos was doing, because this was criminally. They were putting people's health at risk. And because of this, two people actually got sued because they went to a journalist, John Carreyrou, who wrote the book. He spoke to two people at Theranos, and they told him that what Theranos was doing was illegal. They were lying to investors, they were lying to people about their health, and everything about the company was built on lies. And this was something that Elizabeth didn't start out by doing, but eventually it built up into a snowball effect, and she was lying to everybody. And when the article that John wrote came out, Elizabeth said that it was all lies. It was all built on two rogue employees that wanted to badmouth the company, that every single figure about what was written in the article was wrong. But eventually it came out that she was lying, and that's what the book is about. Bill Gates actually said this is a book that I couldn't put this thriller down, and this has multiple times been told by him that is one of his favorite books, and because this was a company that was valued at $9 billion, and Elizabeth herself was valued at over $3 billion. She had convinced these powerful people, investors, to invest in the company and get on the board of the company. So these highly powerful people, for example, the senator of the state, they were on the board of this company. So this company looked like it was doing everything right, because these powerful people could actually influence the public. They could influence the president, and that's why they were valued at $9 billion. But in reality, they only had a couple of $100,000 to work with at the end, because the Walgreens deal went through after the FDA found out what was happening and they revoked Theranos license to practice, and everything fell through. So I recommend you begin with the documentary on HBO called The Inventor: Out for Blood in Silicon Valley, and then I recommend you read the book Bad Blood. I will leave a link, Amazon affiliate link in the description, where you can check out the book. This is a fascinating read. You will find out that how was this company able to lie their way to billionaire status, convince investors that everything was right, and just lie to the public. How did they actually manage to do this? And this puts other companies in the Silicon Valley on skepticism. Now people think, what the hell is happening in Silicon Valley? Is this company doing everything right? Because in the dot-com bubble in the 90s, companies weren't allowed to get this far. They had to announce quarterly to investors what was happening, and because Theranos said that this was built on state secrets, they didn't tell anybody what was happening or how they did, how the machine worked or how anything worked. So I recommend you check out the book. I will leave a link in the description and you can check it out there. See you in the next book review.